Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Nathan.
Welcome to episode 171 of Adventures and Mousecapades.
This week, we're talking about how when you go for a hike 25 miles out into the middle of nowhere in British Columbia with no cell service, it's a best practice not to lock your keys in the car. Alicia, any comments?
I am very thankful that there were Canadians out there that were very nice and could drive us back to, places where there's actual people. That was not an adventure I wanted to have.
It wasn't a mousecapade either.
No.
Well, you and Caitlin went up, it was just a few days ago now as we're recording this, for kind of a couple nights at, was it Henderson Hot Springs up in BC?
Harrison Hot Springs.
Harrison. I knew it was an H and had an N at the end. That was close.
Very nice. Definitely more of a summertime vibe place, but we quite enjoyed the hot springs, and Sasquatch is huge out there. So there's a lot of Sasquatch themed stuff, and it was really nice. I wouldn't mind going back up there and not locking my keys in the car.
You know what I hear about Sasquatch? Big feet.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Anyhow, for reals, though, we are doing our quarterly Disney review. This is a look back on the last few months of news coming out of the House of Mouse, and we will be looking at everything that's happened so far in 2025.
Not too much this time, so that's nice. It'll be a nice, shorter episode, hopefully.
Until we get to talking.
Yes.
3 hours later.
No, we will not do that. No.
All right. Let's start off then. At Disney World in the general resort area, there's a bunch of stuff that was announced that is kind of happening, not in a specific park, but at Disney World in general. First up, there's a bunch of new character experiences that they've kind of generally teased at starting off later in May. Supposedly there's going to be more characters, more dancing, and opportunities to interact with characters in places at Disney World.
Yes. They've started doing this in a couple places already, actually. I believe I've seen some things where, like, outside of Hollywood Studios, like outside before the entrance gate, there's sometimes characters out around there.
Okay.
So they're planning on doing just little extra pixie dust things like that. They're going to have at some hotels, like on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 9:30 to 11. They'll post it out there, but more character experiences will be available for folks, and they'll post it and let people know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's good to see.
Yes.
I think those chances for more impromptu interactions with characters are some of the more magical things that we have had in our Disney experience, whether it be on a cruise or at Aulani or even occasionally in the parks. And so it's good to see them leaning a little bit more into that and having opportunities for character interactions that are less structured and waiting in an hour-long line.
Yes. They're also going to include characters during the early entry things for hotel resort guests.
Okay.
Which they don't have right now. So when you go in for early entry, you just go to the area you want to go to, the ride and stuff. But now they're going to have characters available, which is nice.
Cool.
I don't know what else to say about that. So there.
Sounds a plan. The My Disney Experience app, which is one of the applications you can put on your phone, has been updated now. It actually shows single rider lines on the app, and so you can get wait time availability for single riders. So if you are by yourself and please, dear listener, if you're with a party of friends or family or however you want to do this and you choose to go in the single rider line, please know and expect that you will be broken up. There are a lot of people who don't have that expectation and
don't get broken up about it.
I see what you did there. Anyway, that has always been an opportunity available. It's only at some rides, but it was never really advertised as like, hey, you should expect an X or Y amount of wait time, and that is getting a little bit more formalized.
Rope drop early entry has changed. Now, if you have early entry, you can go directly to the line of the ride you want to go onto, which you couldn't do before. Like, even if it was closed,
Okay.
you could go wait in the line. So, like, Tron doesn't open up first thing in the morning.
Right.
But if you're there early entry, or if you're there for rope drop, you can go direct to the line and just wait in the line.
So are they opening up the whole park and then just letting actual rides start at like whenever they're supposed to start, whether they're early entry or not? Or do they still have, because I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was like only a few lands have been open, say in Magic Kingdom, and everything else actually is still roped off and you can't get back there. Or it sounds like they're changing that.
For early entry, you can go, I believe you can go to anywhere. For
Okay.
rope drop, you still have to wait. But early entry, if you want to go wait in line for, something that doesn't open until the park opens, you can go do that if you so choose.
Okay, good to know.
Which will make it hard for those that are, coming in right at 9 o'clock when the park opens and wanting to wait on Tron, but there's already the long line.
Yeah, I mean, early entry isn't what it used to be. I mean, it used to be, like an hour, and it used to be a heck of a lot more meaningful. Now it really is just a get in line earlier than folks who aren't staying on property. So, I mean, at least I will argue the other side of that coin. At least there's still some perk for staying on property.
Yeah,
because a lot of those have been whittled away over the years. So we still have something. Yeah,
there's the early entry. There's also the open late thing, which I don't know what it's
extended
called.
Hours.
Extended hours.
Yes. Speaking of lines, there are no more virtual queues in Disney World. The last rides that were still using virtual queues, being Guardians, Cosmic Rewind, and Tiana's Bayou Adventure, have changed over to standby lines. So you have one less reason to be in the My Disney app, although you'll still be in it for everything else.
Well, there's still lightning lanes available if you want to do that.
True.
Over at Disney Springs, what used to be Disney Quest and then became the NBA experience for a very short amount of time is now becoming level 99. I don't know exactly what that is, other than it's a whole bunch of challenge rooms. There are like going to be over 60 of them. They're like escape room type things.
Yeah.
There's going to be food and drink and Disney Quest-ish stuff.
Yes. So this is very much kind of like Disney Quest. I've heard folks talk about level 99. Evidently, they have locations around the country. I don't know how many, but there are other spots, and they are taking over this place for Disney, or at least at Disney, and will be kind of their third-party partner running this place. And yeah, it's not necessarily escape rooms, but kind of they're challenge rooms, I think, is the terminology that they do use, which also doesn't really say much, but evidently it's you can have so much time, or you buy so many rooms, and it's kind of like Dave and Buster's but for your brain, I guess. Sure, we'll go with that. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. What are words anyway?
There's no date given for that other than they are coming.
Yes. And speaking of dates, and on the opposite side of that coin, speaking of going, Jelly Rolls is closing over at the Boardwalk on Saturday, April 19th will be their final show. They have been there for 30 years.
Yeah.
It's been a heck of a run. We are so sad to see them go. The good news, in theory, Jelly Rolls will be moving. They haven't said where they're going to go, but hopefully it will be somewhere in the, not too far away from Disney property, because we still definitely love going there. And yeah, we'll just have to see what comes into that space. There have been rumors swirling about like a jazz club, some like live music kind of thing. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It would be. I don't think it would get near the traction that Jelly Rolls gets. Jelly Rolls is a dueling piano bar, and it is a crap ton of fun.
Metric crap ton of fun.
Metric, yes.
And I don't know that it's going to get the same. I don't know. We'll see.
Yep.
We will see what we will see.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Nathan.
Yeah.
Do you know what's happening to the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I do. It's not what anybody would have hoped for.
No.
But hey, if you're an Imagineer, you get to have a really cool office for all the construction projects going on. Yeah, they are turning the Star Cruiser, the Star Wars Hotel, and interactive day and a half or 2-day experience, depending on which marketing buzz you wanted to read. That cost $5,500 for a couple to go. It's going to be offices for Imagineering during all the reconstruction projects over at Hollywood Studios. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Well, I mean, they're going to have great offices because I'm imagining it's going to be all of those. There's 100 rooms, I think. You've got 100 offices.
No windows, yes.
I mean, yeah. But there's screens. Maybe they'll hook them up and, you can plug your computer into the screen and you have a giant screen in your office. That would be kind of cool.
Sure.
You don't seem sold.
No, I think this is a very odd thing for them to do. Like, did they just need to do something with it? And they're like, I don't know, let's do offices. But
I mean, they needed a place to put offices.
This is true. Yes.
And
okay.
You have infrastructure that's effectively been written off. You might as well use it.
Yeah.
It's in a weird spot to be guest facing because you can't walk from the park to that building. The rooms don't have windows.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a weird hotel. Like, the logistics and everything for making it a regular hotel, only being 100 rooms, like, that's not going to make money.
No pool. No
exactly.
amenities.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what you could do I mean, I guess if you think of it this way, this is kind of like, this is what it's going to be. So, it's just so sad. I wish we had gotten a chance. Well, we had a year and a half of a chance to go to do Star Cruiser. We didn't, and I regret that, but que sera, that ship has sailed. Haha, pun intended.
Bye, Halcyon.
Let's talk about what's going on in the parks. Over at Epcot on March 22nd, there was a fire.
There was.
There was. One of the walk-in coolers behind the restaurants there over in France was in fuego.
There was a lot of black smoke.
There was.
There was, I mean, a lot. They did evacuate Remy's Ratatouille Adventure and the France Pavilion, I believe, were the only areas that were evacuated. There may have been a couple more, but that's what I heard.
Yes. And no, we haven't heard of any massive damage. I would imagine that whatever was in that cooler and the cooler itself are kind of toast, but no issues with major infrastructure there at the park. There is a detachment for the fire department that's right there in the backstage area at Epcot. So they were on it and had it under control within, I think, like 15 or 20 minutes. So
yeah, it was pretty quick.
Nobody was hurt that we've heard of. So all's well that ends well.
Indeed. Over in the Seas Pavilion, there are new manatees. There's a total of 5 manatees that are there now that have joined newly. Their names are Cider, Minnow, and Mermaid are the females. And I didn't find out what the names for the males were, so I just didn't see them anywhere. So welcome, manatees.
I'll go with Bubba and Gump.
Bubba and Gump. Okay.
Mm-hmm. In the Canada Pavilion, the In-Park Welcome Home Center is under construction at the Chateau de Voyage.
That's what it's called.
Going to
the
exactly.
Chateau de Voyage.
Apologies. Yes. This is a DVC preview center that will have a model room or two. This is the first time they've done this in Disney World. However, it's not unprecedented. There is this kind of thing over by the was it the Trattoria over in California Adventure. Yeah. It's a nice, comfortable spot. It's not really a lounge, but if you're looking to escape some heat and humidity and duck into air conditioning, you can go look around. DVC is a big moneymaker for the company, so I'm not really surprised to see them pushing this.
Yeah, they did say that there's going to be a model of the Polynesian Tower rooms over there.
For now.
They
will change the rooms out and refurb as they sell the next thing.
Next one, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
A new Spaceship Earth Lounge is coming. It has a name now called Geo 82. This is going to be for adults 21 and older only, and is going to be themed to global communication and innovation. It's going to be open late spring this year. This used to be, I guess, like a corporate lounge area, backside of Spaceship Earth.
Yep. Not the backside of water.
No.
Right.
That's
the
why I said
backside
backside
of
of Spaceship Earth.
Hopping over to the Magic Kingdom, Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin is getting a refresh. This was just announced in the last week or so on socials. And there's going to be some new show scenes coming, updated ride vehicles, updated targets, blaster updates. You're going to actually be able to hold them in your hand. They won't be mounted. And this means that this ride will be closing at some point in August. A specific date has not been announced, I don't think. And it's expected to reopen with all of these refreshments and refurbishments in 2026. I will say, very, very, very much needed.
Yes.
I have expressed on this show before how I like the shooter style games. That is not the implementation thereof that I like.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're going to do something that does not require 3D glasses. Although I don't think the movement and everything of those kind of rides is the kind of 3D glasses experience that really at least doesn't it doesn't impact me in terms of like feeling queasy or anything. But I hope that it will be a lot more obvious on what you are shooting at and which blinky red thing is the one that you hit versus the one 2 cars over that somebody else you don't know hit. Because, that's so frustrating.
They're going to have different color lasers for the 2 people in the car.
Excellent.
I don't know if they're going to have, I don't know if there's only going to be 2 colors or if they're going to do like 4 or 6 different colors, but there are going to be different colors per car.
Excellent.
Yes.
And all of the people who are colorblind are going to be so happy. Well, no change because they can't tell now. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
McKim's Mile House is a new DVC lounge that opened in Frontierland. This is where the shooting gallery used to be. It is for DVC members only. You and 4 guests or up to 4 guests can come in, basically anybody who's there on your reservation. It is named after Imagineer Sam McKim, who designed lots of the souvenir maps that used to be used around the parks. And it looks interesting. It looks cool. It's small. I think there's only like 60 seats in there, and there's some real long wait times for the first week that it was open. So
that's to be expected. It's a brand new thing. People are going to want to check it out.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it kind of calms down and chills into a more normal running time.
Yeah. This is the second DVC lounge in Disney World, right? I know there's one in Epcot. Is that the only one right now other than McKim's?
Yes, it is the only other one that's open in the parks. Obviously, not obviously, but there's the one over in Disney Springs as well. It will be interesting to see. I wonder if they're going to bring something into Animal Kingdom. Would they do something over in Studios somewhere?
Maybe have one in each park.
Yeah.
I know.
Club 33 for us plebeians.
The Epcot one got fairly busy. The times that we went there, I think we were able to get in every time.
Yes. Yeah.
But it
was open. Yeah.
Yeah. It still got fairly busy. But not, we weren't turned away.
Right.
It'd be nice to see if they could do something like this in every park. Then I would think that would take pressure off of the other ones.
And maybe they'll do that. Ooh. Maybe they will do that in Canada, in the Canada Pavilion, and it will be a preview center / member lounge. Maybe that's not what they announced. I'm dreaming here, so don't.
They already have one in Epcot, though.
Oh yeah, never mind. All right, that's a bad idea. I can't believe I ever said that. What was I thinking? Jeez.
Well, back to Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad closed on January 5th for a big refurbishment. It's not going to be back until next year, sometime in 2026, and they have not announced the date yet.
No.
They ripped this thing apart.
Yeah, they did. And we saw, they pulled up pretty much all of the track or huge chunks of the track. They've started to reinstall some new track portions, so that's awesome to see. Progress is absolutely being made. I think we are all in the fan community hoping that this will get some of the plussed up effects and lights and things like that we see in this ride over in California, and definitely some of the international parks have very, very elaborate, very fancy versions of Big Thunder. So we will see what we get in Florida in a year or so.
And then we'll have more walls coming up.
Yeah, we're going to have walls in Florida for a long time. Yes. Taking the Interpark bus over to Animal Kingdom, we have some bad news and then some other bad news. Starting off with the bad news, It's Tough to Be a Bug is officially closed. The maps have been updated. It is gone. This was an opening day attraction for Animal Kingdom. What's left, might you ask? I'm glad you asked me. What's left is Rafiki's Planet Watch and the train to get there from opening day, Festival of the Lion King, Gorilla Falls Trail, and Kilimanjaro Safaris were all from opening day of Animal Kingdom. And that's it. Discovery Island trails weren't ready until a month after the park opened, and Cali River Rapids was the first big addition, although it was probably planned. I can't remember off the top of my head if it was just late or whatever, but that was nearly a year after the park opened. So we're losing it. This is a definite major overhaul to the park. There is not a lot left.
Yeah. And on to the other bad news.
Yeah. Speaking of things.
Kind of. I mean, yeah. Yes. Dinosaur is officially closing in 2026.
Did we get a date in 2026?
No.
Okay. So it feels like they've said this a few times now.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, there are other things that have closed in that area. Triceratops Spin is gone, the Fossil Fun Games are gone, and Chester and Hester's Dino Treasures closed. All on January 12th. The Boneyard is still available, and there's another restaurant. Restaurantosaurus is still there, and Dinosaur is still there. There are no closing dates for any of those right now, so you can still get a little bit of dinosaur stuff going on while you're there. I'm fairly certain they're going to do all the Tropical America stuff kind of around that.
Okay.
Get some of that up and going, and then maybe start closing the other things. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how this all plays out. They have definitely said that it is in 2026 when they're going to be closing off Dinosaur. And Gertie is, or not Gertie, sorry. I don't mean to frighten anybody. Gertie is fine. Gertie is over in Hollywood Studios. I forget the name of
Cementosaurus?
Cementosaurus, exactly. Okay. That's not its official name, but that's what it was. The big, giant cement dinosaur. She's gone.
Yep.
She's rubble. And we're losing. Yep. It's okay. I'm excited for what's coming in there.
Yes.
But I hate how long these construction projects take. And please, Disney, don't put these on the Tron timeline. We cannot wait 5+ years for this park to turn around and get this stuff back up and running as what it's going to be in the future. So
take a note from Epic Universe.
Yeah. Get on it.
They are going fast.
Yeah, and they're largely done. So if you need additional construction crews, I know where you can find some.
Yes. Yeah,
they're looking for work.
They're opening May 22nd, Epic Universe.
Which I'm excited for.
I
think it's good. It's good to have more things to do in the Orlando area. It's good to have pressure being put on Disney to up their game. And frankly, it's good to have a little potential, honestly, some pressure reduction on the amount of people who are going to be in Disney World parks for at least while the new park is open for the initial year or so. I think you're going to have a lot of people opting to go over there, and maybe we can get some lower ride or ride wait times and things like that. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, Disney doesn't want that to happen because that's lower revenue, but we can dream. Can't we have lower prices and lower attendance and everything is just great and free? That's how this works, right? No?
Lower prices or free?
No, both.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's low priced and free and low attendance and we can just walk on to everything that we want to do and everything's always open and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. That's viable, right? That's how this works? Alicia?
No.
Hello?
Mm-mm.
Dang
Nope.
it. Okay, well, my bubble is burst.
Pop. Over to Hollywood Studios. Villains Unfairly Ever After is opening on May 27th. They have a date for this now. This is over behind Rock and Roller Coaster where the Lightning McQueen Racing Academy was. They're changing this to Villains Unfairly Ever After. And it's going to basically be villains asking the audience who was treated the most unfairly. So it's going to be I think maybe an interactive element to it. This seems really cool. I've seen a couple of the videos of the stage getting set up and it looks really neat.
Audience in the seats. Who was the most unfairly treated of the... I can't make that rhyme. Never mind. I shouldn't have gone down that path in the first place. May 20th. There's a lot of happenings on May 27th. Oh, that's Memorial Day weekend. Okay, that's why. Never mind. I see the logic now. Also over in Hollywood Studios, The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure opens on, get it? May 27th. It's the magical date. This is a refurb of The Little Mermaid show building. It is some slight tweaks that we have heard to the show itself. This is a live action extravaganza and puppets and all sorts of digital things and effects going on. I'm guessing it's going to be kind of a glow up and refresh of like they did to the Finding Nemo story over in Animal Kingdom. And frankly, I think they did a really good job with that. So
Yeah.
we'll see how horrible Ursula looks moving forward.
I don't know that I've actually ever seen this show.
Am I thinking of the one in California?
I know I've been to that one. I don't think we've done this one like with Caitlin
Oh.
at all.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay, sure. We'll have to go whenever
We'll
it's
check
open.
it out when it's open. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
Next
when?
time we're down there. May 27th.
There you go. May 27th. When will we be there? No idea.
No idea.
It'll be probably next year.
Probably. Yep. We got to see a little sneak peek of the Monsters door coaster at South by Southwest. This is a nice little animation of the ride entry area. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the loading zone.
The loading zone. Thank you. Got a nice little look at the loading zone there where you get onto the ride vehicle and the entire track just goes straight up into the air. It looks really cool.
It does look really cool.
I am excited for this coaster.
Yeah.
They haven't really said if it's going to be a family-friendly coaster or not. I don't think so.
It doesn't seem super long, but it's
No.
definitely a suspended...
Yeah.
It looks like you are like in a suspended type of coaster,
Yes,
which
it is a
is...
suspended coaster.
This is Disney's first, at least domestic
Yes.
suspended coaster. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah. I want this to be a thrilling coaster. I don't know if it will be, but I want it to be a thrilling coaster.
this will probably not be a super thrilling coaster,
Yeah.
but that's probably all my tummy can handle in my aggressively olding age. Oh, that came out weird. As I get older, these more aggressive rides really throw me for a loop. Pun intended. And yeah, I bet you I'll be able to do this one. So
Okay.
I'm not looking for Universal Studios level of intensity. I'm kind of fine with the junior versions that Disney does.
I know.
I still, I'm here for the churros. Not in Florida, though. Unless Nomad Lounge. You know about the Nomad Lounge churros, Alicia?
Next thing that's happening is not really great. Kind of unhappy about this, but it's making room for all the Monsters stuff.
Yes.
We've got a bunch of closures that have to do with Muppet Courtyard. Mama Melrose Restaurant Italiano, or whatever it's called over there,
That one.
is closing on May 10th. Muppet Vision 3D and Pizza Rizzo is closing on June 7th, and the entire courtyard area will not be available on June 8th. Yeah.
I'm thinking less and less that we will see Muppet Vision 3D back anytime soon. I have been on the hope bus, very strong, that they're going to put it somewhere else. Like maybe, where Villains Unfairly Ever After is going to go. Where Lightning McQueen Racing Academy was. Like, get the Villains Land open in Magic Kingdom, move the Villain Show over there, and install Muppet Vision 3D.
I don't think there's enough call for Muppet stuff, unfortunately.
I know. I don't like the reality. So I'm going to ignore it.
Okay.
Sweet. Hey, let's go to California.
Okay.
Happenings in the Disneyland Resort. At Disneyland itself, the OG, they have announced a slew of updates coming for their 70th anniversary starting this May. Hey, there's that May date again.
Indeed. We talked a lot about this on our Coming Soon to Disneyland show on episode 163.
Yes, there are a ton of announcements and shows and things and overlays and all sorts of stuff that is happening around Disneyland's 70th anniversary. And that will all start in May and run for, as birthdays do, a year and a half.
Yes.
Yes.
Small World is getting a third verse. This was written by Richard M. Sherman, and there's a short about it called The Last Verse on, I think, maybe Disney Plus or YouTube somewhere. But that's going to be on the ride shortly. It's closed right now.
Okay.
Small World is, and it'll be open up, I think, April or May is when it opens back up.
Got it. And it'll have, the song will have a third verse to sit in your brain and rot forever. The opening date for the Walt Disney animatronic show, the Walt Disney A Magical Life, is July 17th. This was at one point going to be in May.
Yep.
And I guess they needed a little more time. So this slipped about 6 weeks off into the middle of July. But this is the show that is running there in the Main Street Theater. It is where Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln is. They will be alternating which shows are being shown in that theater. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do that, but they will be doing that. I do expect that this new show, the Walt Disney A Magical Life, will probably be the show that is shown for quite a while. And then the Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln will start alternating in, and we'll learn more about that at a future date. But for the time being, starting in mid-July on the 17th, we can go say hi to Walt, animatronic Walt.
Mm-hmm.
Not Frozen Head animatronic Walt, just animatronic Walt.
Jeez.
Allegedly.
Season of the Force has started over at Disneyland. This is a Star Wars celebration type deal over at Galaxy's Edge West. Galaxy's Edge West only.
Yes.
Has all sorts of food offerings, some really, really cool looking popcorn buckets. And they are breaking the timeline.
Yes.
Luke Skywalker is going to be showing up in the parks with R2-D2.
Yes.
And I'm excited for this. We are going to see this next week or so.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a gorgeous, gorgeous projection show going on the spires, the Black Spire.
I am excited.
Yes.
Yes, you will see us over in Galaxy's Edge at Batu West for about a week. We will probably be camped out over there a lot.
Yes.
But we'll also be at California Adventure because we have some things we have to go do in California Adventure. Unfortunately, there are some things that we won't do while we're in California Adventure. One of those is see Deadpool. The Storytime with Deadpool series was a limited run, and that run ended on January 7th. And I'm sad. That was a lot of fun. I'm so glad we got to see that.
Yeah. The Red Car Trolley also closed down on February 8th. I don't know if this is coming back because they're closing it because of all of the updates that they're making over in California Adventure. The trolley barn, they'd have to totally relocate it and redo tracks and everything. So
yes,
they do still have the trolley. However,
correct.
It is out so people can look at it, take pictures with it.
Yes,
for now.
But it is not moving anymore.
Yeah,
it is just a stationary element of atmosphere. So sad. But there's lots of stuff coming to California Adventure. So
yes, there's a lot of stuff coming to
okay.
California Adventure.
We'll be okay.
Also changing in the Avengers universe, the show that they have going on there with Black Panther and Taskmaster and Black Widow, called Avengers Assemble, is shutting down on April 5th. That is its final day of operation.
Yeah. So this ran every so often, every hour and a half or something like that. And it was a little stunt show up on top of the building where the Quinjet is. Speculation is this is going away because that whole facade is going to be turned into a construction zone because that's where they are installing a new ride that will be the Tony Stark experience. I forget the name of the ride or what they're calling it, where you get to fly around like you're Iron Man.
Stark Flight Lab.
Ah, yes, that's it. I get they're not going to be able to put performers into the middle of construction zone. So we will, hopefully still get the Dora Milaje out and around. Hopefully they're still flinging Spider-Man into the side of a building, into a catchment place. I do love that animatronic. That's so cool.
That is cool.
I think that's it. I mean, we're going to be in California Adventure. We're going to be in Disneyland here in a week or so after this is released. We're there for spring break. We're there for some entertainment workshops that Sterling and his performing arts studio are participating in. So we'll have a lot more thoughts and reactions and observations coming to you in the very near future about what's going on in Disneyland. But we will move on. Big entertainment news, or at least fairly breaking entertainment news here very recently. Disney announced they are working on Coco 2.
Yeah.
And this will come out, I think they said 2029 is the date they're throwing at the wall, something like that. They didn't really say anything other than here's the Coco movie logo with a 2 after it. So, you know what we know, y'all. That's what's happening.
Well, this kind of makes sense now because we are seeing a lot of Coco-themed stuff coming to the parks, be it parade floats or rides that are happening. So the fact that they're making a Coco 2 kind of, all right, tying it in a little more. Okay. Yeah. On to one of our favorites.
Disney
DCL,
Cruise Line. Yes.
Disney Cruise Line. Bluey and Bingo debuted on the Disney Wonder during their Australian sailings. I've watched a couple episodes of Bluey, and my God, that little thing is delightful. It is such a cute little show.
In theory, Bluey and Bingo will be coming to Disney World to doing some meet and greets and other things. No details on when exactly and what exactly they're going to be doing, but that is in the future, has been something that Disney has floated out. Speaking of floating out and Disney Cruise Line, the Disney Destiny touched water in its dry dock there in Papenburg, Germany. For the first time just last week, the maiden voyage of the Disney Destiny is scheduled for November 20th from Fort Lauderdale. And this brand new Wish-class ship will be doing 4 and 5 night itineraries to the Bahamas out of Fort Lauderdale. And it has 2, if I remember correctly, 1 week, 7-night itineraries that are just randomly sprinkled in, I think it's June of 2026, and we will be on one of them.
Yes,
so
we will.
Looking forward to checking that off our list of all the Disney ships that we have been on.
One that may take a while for us to get onto is the Disney Adventure. This is the ship that Disney bought. It was mostly finished, and then the company went into bankruptcy, and Disney bought it for pennies on the dollar. So it's not Disney designed on the outside or inside, other than theming pretty much.
Well, they've done some massive overhaul work.
Okay.
They've put like $1 billion into the ship.
They have done a lot on there.
And that gets you more than some different paint. That's moving some walls.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. Float out for this are saying, or we're hearing, it's going to be April 19th, just because we've heard some stuff from German news outlets. There's been like news clippings and things shared online that, hey, traffic's going to be really bad on April 19th because of a float out. So there's supposed to be a maiden voyage on December 15th for this thing from Singapore. So that's going to be really tight for them to get from Europe all the way to Southeast Asia in time, because there's also supposed to be some previews in Los Angeles
Right.
and sea trials and getting everything inside the ship ready.
Right.
We'll see if that happens.
And they have to go the long way around.
Yeah.
I don't know that ship fits in the Panama Canal. And with the current situation in the Red Sea, there's not a lot of ships that are up for sailing through the Suez Canal and going and taking that shortcut. So they're either going around South America or they're going around Africa. It has a long way to go.
Yeah.
This ship she's coming in hot in terms of making those deadlines. We've been hearing some rumblings. This is all rumors and speculation, but that they are under some tight schedule delays, and there are some pretty hefty financial penalties if they don't make their dates with Singapore and get those maiden voyage sailings and the inaugural season launched in time. So we will have to pay attention to what's going on with the Adventure to see if it has any schedule slips and what the impacts there of those slips are. So we shall see.
Yeah. One of the things that they announced for the Adventure that sounds kind of cool is Marvel Style Studio, which is, think the Bibbidi Boppity Boutique where they do princess makeovers.
Okay.
But this is Marvel style makeovers for adults and children.
Oh, that's cool.
And so like you can get face paint and then just other characterizations. But it's turning into an adult lounge at night.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Okay.
For like tastings and things. So like what Hook's Barbery does right now, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. Turning a salon.
Oh, not like a nightclub. Sorry. Yeah.
Right. Like, whoa, what? And speaking of nighttime entertainment, we are pleased to announce, or Disney is pleased to announce, we are pleased to hear that the Dine and Play package, or not package, but the Dine and Play offering is back on all of the ships. This is for families who have the late dining time, and your kids can get picked up at the front of the restaurant about an hour or so into your meal. So if you are, hitting that 8:15 time slot, they've got 45 minutes to an hour to get their meal in and done, which is honestly about as much time as those kids' servings take. And then staff will be available to take them down, and you can continue to have some quieter adult meal time with those kiddos checked into the club for you.
Yeah. I'm happy to see this back.
Yeah, this went away after the pandemic. It's taken a while, but this is a great offering. As parents who often do the later dining options, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
For parents, and I guess for kids because they just want to go to the club anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have to. It's if they want to.
True. That's fair. Well, depends. Maybe the parents want them to.
Okay.
All right. Well, that is it for this quarter's look at Disney news. We will be back next quarter. We're not a super big news channel. We do mention things here and there, but there are other avenues for you to stay more on top of Disney news, but we want to make sure that you're plugged in if you don't want to do that homework. We're happy to do that homework for you.
Remember, we are not affiliated with Disney or their subsidiaries. These are personal opinions and suggestions based on our own experiences. We recommend working with a travel agent or contacting Disney directly to plan your perfect vacation.
If you have questions or suggestions or would like to be interviewed on our show to share your Disney experience, please send an email to podcast@ourmousecapades.com.
You can follow us on socials. We are at Our Mousecapades. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and YouTube.
Please do give us a rating and review in your podcast app. That really helps people find us.
And of course, please don't hesitate to share us with your friends and fellow Disney lovers of all ages.
Thanks for listening. We'll be in your ears next week.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.
And of course, don't hesitate to share us with your friends and fellow Disney lovers of all the... one more. My tongue got stuck.